My name's Neil Anderson. I'm currently studying a BA in Fine Art at Leeds Metropolitan University in the UK. When I go back next week, I go into my third and final year. This year I won a travel award, and that was based on my proposal to visit the Antoni Tàpies Foundation. Since starting my course, I was really inspired by Antoni Tàpies. And so my proposal was to come to Barcelona and visit the foundation and really try and connect more with Antoni Tàpies and his work. So my aim was to do a number of things. Initially I decided that for a start I wouldn't take the metro, I'd walk everywhere, which this is my last and final 17th day. And I decided I would walk everywhere, which has been fantastic because you get a real sense of Barcelona and the city. So I did a number of things to try, as I say, and try and connect with Antoni Tàpies. I've been to the street where I believe he was born, which is Carrera Canuda, number 39. I've been to see where his studio is in Saragossa, which is really interesting because it's quite an unassuming street really, and the building's quite unassuming, but quite interesting to actually go there and just know that Antoni Tàpies has produced so much of his work from there. I've also been obviously around the streets, Balmes, where I know he's lived and his family have lived. Been to Antoni Tàpies' gallery, and try to locate some of his public sculptures. The one in the Parliament building, I've been to that, which is fantastic, and the homage to Picasso, seen that. I've also been to Montserrat, which was quite an interesting experience because I read that both Tàpies and Miró were there, and I know that he was inspired by Miró, and also was a good friend. And Montserrat was an interesting experience because once you get past the tourist aspect of it, I decided to walk to Saint Jeroni, right to the top, and that's where the real spiritual thing happens, I think, in Montserrat. So that was very interesting. I've also visited the Miró Foundation because I know that Antoni Tàpies was influenced very, very much by him and was also a friend, and that was interesting to go there because really you can see the elements of some of his work in there. So that was fantastic. But everywhere you go, Antoni Tàpies is around. In the Macba, which is a fantastic gallery, and the Manac, in there, he's got some work in there. I think generally Barcelona, in terms of art galleries, is just superb, and I've been amazed at some of the artworks that I've seen. It's been superb. And I've visited the foundation. This is my fourth visit to the foundation. I've been to the library twice, and the people here have been superb, really helpful, and it's just been such a fantastic experience to come here and experience Antoni Tàpies' work firsthand. You know, I believe that what I've set out to do, I think I've achieved, having spent 17 days trying to make these connections. I really feel that I'm leaving now with a sense that I think I understand a bit more about Antoni Tàpies. For me, Antoni Tàpies is two things. There's the person. What I've read and seen of Antoni Tàpies, I believe him to be a very interesting human being, and someone who I relate very much to in terms of his values and his thinking. But then on the other side is his artwork, which the automatism in his work, the way that he can express himself and create artwork, is something which I I certainly struggle with, but aspire to get that freedom into your work. So for me, it's just been an absolutely superb experience. I mean, I've a list of other things that I've done while I've been here, other artists that I've encountered, Catalonian artists, who I seem to have quite a connection with. I don't know whether I sense there's quite a synergy between Scotland and Catalonia, and whether that's what's actually drawn me to Tàpies in the first place, I don't know, but certainly a lot of what I see and what I read and what I hear certainly connects with me, and that for me is, is quite special. So really, I've had a fantastic time in Barcelona, and thanks to the foundation, very, very memorable time. Work that I've come across that I've just been absolutely amazed by, but not just in the past, but now. I think it's a city that one person I spoke of other famous cities in terms of the history and art, in that they're almost dead. Barcelona is very much, I think, it's very much alive and is living. It's living the history but yes, it's a very creative, vibrant city. And I think by walking around the streets and actually connecting with it, you really get a sense of that. I think only by, and this is part of what the Travel Award is aimed to do, is you don't know before you come here what you're going to experience, and that's part of the joy of travelling, I guess. And really, you've got to come here to experience it, and feel it. And it's only by doing that you will, I think, start to understand it. I think it gives you a much better understanding of the culture. You can't experience culture at a distance. You've got to get in amongst it. And even whilst I've been here, I've met a few Catalonian people from Barcelona who, in fact, took me to a festa the other day, which was not a tourist thing, which was an actual village festa, and that was absolutely superb. And the people were really friendly. I was talking to some guys about I've got it in here somewhere. Obviously, we're talking about this, which is quite interesting because Scotland is wanting its independence. So there's a real synergy there between this fight for independence and for a say in their own destiny. You really get a sense of that, and I was quite impressed when I went to the Minac, and you see some of the work that's in there, especially some of the Gothic and art. You really get a sense. Some of those pictures of martyrdom and so on, I mean, they are unbelievable. I mean, you've got to see that and experience it. There's one painting in particular that sticks in my mind and this is probably not pronounced properly, Hugot, I think it is. It's the Martyri de Saint Bartholomew, and that is an unbelievable painting. The guy getting flayed alive. But there's an amazing history in Barcelona that, when you come here, to see, even in the time I've been here, and I've been out every day doing something and looking at something, I know I've just scratched the surface of it. It's the tip of the iceberg. So what it does do is leave you with the sense that you've got to come back. If not only to see the things you've already seen, there's so many other things to see and visit. The reason I've come here is because I've won an award, and so I've got to obviously show them how I've spent the money. But I think, yes, to answer the question, I think what it's done for me is given me almost a model to take somewhere else. because I would advise anybody who has got this experience, when you get here, you've got to get up at a decent time every morning, make the best of the day, and walk. If you can walk everywhere and take a different street each day, don't go the same route. You know, go into areas that you normally wouldn't avoid. I've tried to avoid the sort of the tourist traps, although there's one or two things I've fortunately gone to see, but I have tried to avoid the real tourist thing, because that's a great danger. You get sucked into that. But if you get off the beaten track, you know, it's amazing what you can see where the tourists don't go, and that's, for me, that's really when you learn and understand about a city.